Hi everyone. Welcome to D&D. Welcome to Keep on the Shadowfell. This is our very first episode where we will play a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game, actually a conversion of the original Keep on the Shadowfell adventure from 4th edition D&D. I have with me my good friends and fellow players, Manny and Quentin. We'll introduce ourselves and which characters we're playing, and we are DM by the illustrious Steven this week. Well, every week actually, but this week specifically, our 4th player, Matt, is not here. He'll be here next week, joining us and the rest of the group for our adventures. So let's just go around the table real quick, introduce ourselves. Who are we, and just briefly, who are we playing? Because I figure we'll describe our characters once the game starts proper. So I'll go first, if you don't mind. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. I noticed that the overlay doesn't have our names yet. We will next week once Matt is here and I have his character's name, so don't worry about that. But for today, we might repeat our names, our character's name, on and off, just to remind everyone who we are or put them in chat or what have you. But I'm playing Vashar Dali, the half-elven ranger, half-elven ranger with a bit of a troubled past. Quentin, who are you playing?
I am going to be playing Dr. Henry Pear, who basically he's just a doctor who learned some druid spells.
And Manny.
That's not disconcerting at all, the slightest. My name's Manny, aka Bag of Snails, and I will be playing a forest gnome rogue named Sprig.
And last but not least, our DM for this adventure, Steven, take us away.
Hey everybody, I'm Steven, and tonight I'm going to play all the other characters and probably make some funny voices. We'll see.
Wouldn't be D&D without funny voices.
I know, right?
That's the whole reason I play Dungeons and Dragons, is to make funny voices.
Cool.
And poor bad sound effects.
And
in my case, yeah.
Yeah. But they're like good sound effects.
They're like good bad.
Right.
They're like B-series sound effects.
They're wonderful. How is everybody?
Good.
Cool. Frightened. I'm frightened as well, because I know you're all incredible players, and I have no clue what I'm up against. Right?
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm pretty sure we're just 3 weirdos that have aspirations to become bread pirates. We're gonna derail the campaign. We're gonna steal a galleon from Cormyr. We're gonna install a brick oven, and we're just gonna pirate the Sea of Fallen Stars, forcing people to buy our delicious sourdough.
That was my plan all along as well. So I'm glad we're all on the same page here. All right, 1 second.
That's okay. Statistically speaking, by the way, with the donation system that we have up and running, if we get enough donations, statistically speaking, we are going to find a magic boat. Because there's one on the random magic item table.
That
Mother of God.
Awesome.
I need to bribe some friends, Spirit back.
All right. So I guess we could jump on in. Mm-hmm. Or did we want to take a moment before we start to explain how the donations are going to work, since this is episode 1? Or
we can. Do you mind doing them as I fiddle with the overlay and finish adding a couple things?
Yeah, that's fine. So hi everybody. We are accepting donations this game and all other Keep on the Shadowfell games on Thursdays. Basically, you guys donate in order to keep food in our bellies and lights on an internet and things, and that's greatly appreciated. But basically, you're able to procure the players' loot boxes. Anytime the players find like a treasure after a boss fight, hidden in dungeons, etc., they will also have a chance to find a loot box, especially if you have procured one for them. For $3, you can get a silver loot box. For $5 a gold, $10 buys a platinum loot box, and $15 you can secretly place a mimic to eat them. So what happens is basically when the characters find treasure, the loot box will be there as well, and there will be a randomly rolled magic item within the loot box for the players to squabble over.
I never thought I'd live to see the day that loot boxes are in D&D. I especially love that you made purchasing mimics an option, because that's what we need after the big bad evil guy boss fight. Is a mimic.
We're gonna walk in. There's gonna be like 7 chests. So we're gonna be like, oh,
how many mimics did they buy?
Wait, isn't that like at the end of like Mario levels or something? You'd have like the chests to choose from, and some were like good, some were bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what we're playing.
So I hope everyone invested in that 10-foot pole.
Oh God, that doesn't even come in the standard equipment anymore. I'm gonna buy one.
No, they want you to get stuck on mimics.
I have a staff now. I could just.
That's like a 5-foot pole, right?
Yeah. I can shoot arrows at each chest. See if one reacts, and then we can just whack it.
That's when they start making the actual gold pieces mimics, just to fuck with us.
Or the whole room's a mimic.
Okay, I know this is completely off topic, but there is legitimately in D&D monster history a monster, and I can't remember their name, but they are a house that is a mimic.
That's scary.
It's just a monster that looks like a house, and then you walk in the front door, and it eats you.
That's very scary.
I may or may not put a bunch of that in the game.
All right, so let's
D&D.
Let's get to Cormier.
Yeah, where are we at? What are we doing?
So, since the beginning, I kind of did say that I wanted this to be just a vanilla D&D game. So we're all going to meet at a bar or a tavern, just whichever. Let me do this then, and let's go to the city of Suzail. So, as we begin, we see a dark night, twinkling stars in the sky, and we see a heavy fog that is rolled in from the Lake of Dragons to the south. Most of Suzail hangs in a fog, and the camera pans slowly down a dark cobblestone street. The strange thing that our viewers would notice is that the streets aren't very full at night. Suzail actually has a curfew. It's the Queen's way of saying the law is the law, and the law is to be taken seriously. No one is allowed in the streets like after dinner time, basically. Suzail is dark at night. We see a lamp post burning oil alone, lighting half of a street, and across that street we see an inn called the Myrmidon. Thunder rolls in the distance, and lightning strikes, lighting up the street. And we see the inside of this inn. The bottom floor is full of patrons. There's a bard in the corner singing a song in a lost elven language. There's a barkeep washing out mugs for the patrons, and there are several serving boys coming here and there. A heavy rain falls on Suzail this night, and we see a lone empty table at the in the inn. The rest of it is full. For there must be some sort of festival coming. People, the inn is nearly full for the night, and conveniently, only 3 seats remain. As lightning flashes again, thunder rolls and cracks in the sky, and the door opens, and there we see Dr. Henry enter the inn. What does he look like, and what does he do as he comes into the inn?
Dr. Henry Purr is he's a standard human, brown hair, brown eyes, like pretty plain as far as that goes. He did lose an eye in one of his previous adventures when he was probably like making house calls, like out in the woods. He probably got ambushed by something. So he'd look around. He'd go sit at one of the empty seats, and he'd motion for a serving boy to, "Oi, boy, bring me some ale."
Actually, I'm not. I'm a patron. I'm not a serving boy.
Perfect.
And you see holding a mug, standing at just over 3 feet tall, Sprig, a little forest gnome with hair the color of like fresh mud and eyes the color of pale green moss. There's a little like chubby mouse sitting on one shoulder. She's holding like they are holding a tankard of ale that's way too big for their hands, which are wrapped up like in like bandages.
Young man, are you aware that you have a mouse on your shoulder?
That's that would be Reginald. He's my friend. He's a mouse, not a rat.
You do know they carry diseases, right?
No, rats carry diseases. Reginald takes baths, right? And there's a brief moment of conversation where Sprig starts squeaking. Squeak. And Reginald, the mouse, just kind of puffs up his chest and stands on his 2 legs.
This is very absurd. Please, join me. Other serving boy, some ale.
I'm not doing this. I'm not paying for this.
You hear someone in the distance say, "Yes, Suze, coming right up for you." And they like run off in the back. It hit one of the other patrons as they're going, nearly spill that patron's mug. The guy says, "Oi, what's going on? I'm just trying to listen to this elven bard over here." Thunder rolls and cracks again. The door opens another time. Rain gusting in and lightning strikes behind. And all we see is the silhouette of Vashard standing in the doorway. When he steps into the light, what does he look like? And what does he go about doing?
Well, the first word is drenched. The first thing he's going to do is remove his cloak and try to hang it next to a fireplace, or at least somewhere that he can hang it to dry. And as he walks in, he just tries to, remove as much of the water as he can from his clothes and his armor. Vashard is not very tall. It's about 5'9". Not super muscular, but you can see that he's someone that has either worked on a farm before, or at least is accustomed to physical labor. He's got black hair, a bit messy at the moment, wet, stuck to his face, with an unkempt beard that is probably dripping water. He's got a scar above his nose, from either a sword or a cut that was deep and big enough and deep enough to leave enough scar tissue. And as he comes in, he just says, "Well, this is the worst temperature." And once the cloak is hung, he's gonna look about the room, find the last seat apparently, and say, "Gentlefolk, do you mind if I take a seat?"
It's a free country.
I don't know if that's entirely true. There's a monarchy.
Basically free.
Speaking of that, Dr. Henry, where is the good doctor from? I do believe that both Sprigg and Vishard hail from Cormier in Suzale, most likely.
Let's see. What was the name of the forest? The big forest?
The King's Forest.
I roam about the King's Forest, like just doing like house calls.
Okay.
That was my upbringing.
Awesome. So about that time, the serving boy comes back with 3 tankards of what he describes as called Sue's Ale. It's a play on words that they thought here was very funny. It's a nutty ale, rich but refreshing, and it's probably good for the hot, muggy, rainy atmosphere outside. Thankfully, the 3 of you made it just in time and happened to get the 3 last seats in the inn. Funny how fate comes together to bring you close on this eve. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just... Go ahead.
You're so polite. Mr. Gnome, what brings you here?
And, well, I live here?
Here in the city.
Yeah, I mean, don't you? Doesn't everyone?
Of course not. I'm only here to fill up on medical supplies before I wander out again.
Why?
Why not? Why would you want to keep yourself enclosed in stone walls?
Well, stone walls keep out beasts and monsters and bandits. Kind of coughs a little bit. And, they keep you safe. That's why there's a curfew.
What do you do about the people that live outside the walls?
Well, I mean, then they can come live inside the walls, can't they?
Yeah, not everyone has the means to afford a place to live in Suzale.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't have a place that means to afford a place inside Suzale, but I still live here.
No.
Forest is just kind of scary and, like, spooky. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to live in the dark, in the wet?
Well, sometimes because you have to protect others that live there. I feel like this is what you do, good doctor. Don't you?
Yes, mostly I just use my skills to help out the local folk who live in and around the forest. I make my rounds and then come back to the city for supplies and travel out again.
Sounds lonely.
Honest work. Can be lonely at times, yes. But seeing the smile on their faces when I can help makes it worthwhile.
Insight check.
Cool. So,
Oh, damn.
Dr. Henry, what's the DC you're setting for your insight check?
Are you trying to read if I'm lying?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if you're full of crap. Like, you sound a little too good to be true, so... Sprig is...
Yeah, 15's... No, it seems genuine.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I like to think that Sprig said inside check out loud.
So about that time, you hear the serving boy clear his throat. He's been standing there the entire time. And he says, so will you be needing a room for the evening, I assume, and food for each of you?
How much the room cost?
Well, it's not much. 5 silvers, and including dinner. But there's an executive dinner available on this evening. The King's Feast, we call it. For a whole gold piece, you can get a rack of lamb, as well as the potato chowder.
Well, you had me at rack. I'm gonna give him a gold piece.
I'll take the 5. I just slide the 5 silvers over with an extra one and go. And can I get a little carrots? Just small carrots.
Carrots. Sure, shouldn't be a problem.
I'll put my hand on Sprig and I'll say, if you don't mind, friend. And I'll slide 2 other gold pieces. Tonight, we feast.
Insight check.
Okay.
Mighty kind of you, stranger.
Well, you know. Bad temperature, bad weather makes for good friends or something like that, as they say.
No,
Weird sayings. It's a regional thing.
Okay, because I've never heard that before.
Can't say that I've heard that either.
well, I'll be right back. It's lucky that you all find yourself in this place tonight. Tomorrow's blessings on you all. And he turns and walks, shouting your order into the back. We've got a bunch of racks!
What do you think he meant by that?
I think he meant we ordered a bunch of rack of lambs.
That we're all lucky to be here
Oh,
tonight.
You know, it's because otherwise they're out in the rain. Festival. There's always something going on.
yeah.
Thunder rolls again in the distance. It comes louder and closer to you, as if it's bouncing off the Lake of Dragons itself. And lightning flashes, brightening up the interior of the tavern. And once again, the door opens. We see a haggard man with long, spindly hair and a long beard that also drips water. His cloak is drenched and he leans on a walking stick. He walks in with a limp, and everyone kind of stops and looks at him for just a moment and notices this long scar that goes off the side of his face. He makes his way to the bar and seems to order a drink.
I am underneath my chair.
Gentlemen. This is a protagonist. Look at him.
He seems fine to me. You should probably have that limp looked at, though.
Everyone stopped looking when he arrived. He must be someone important. Can I just ask a random passerby or just someone at the table next to me?
Yeah.
Is this... Everyone looked at him. Is that person... Are they known around here? Who's that?
The lady eating her chicken leg stops and leans over to you and says, "Oh, that's Martin. He's from around here, but we don't usually pay him any heed. He's taken a few too many blows to the head, if you know what I mean. Always speaking about legends and history books. I bet he's got a book on him now." And the camera pans over to the bar where he's taking a swig and opening this huge tome on the bar, and he's starting to read through this indecipherable script. And then it cuts back over to her and she says, he's just always treasure hunting. We don't pay him much heed.
At that, Sprig's head pops out from underneath Vashard's chair, and they go, "Is he wealthy?"
Well, yes, he made his fortune as an adventurer, but as you can tell, he's seen his better days and no longer adventures. Not around here. He's usually just trying to talk people into getting into trouble. Listen, I know all 3 of you are new here, but Suzail takes the street safety very seriously. I wouldn't go associating with Martin or getting yourself into trouble. Take heed while you're here in Suzail.
Would he have money on him?
Well,
from his adventuring days?
Coming to a bar, ordering some drinks, it's supposed you'd probably have a couple coins on you to pay for such drinks.
Immediate whispers to Reginald. Thank you. And then just the head disappears underneath Vashard's chair.
You are decidedly an odd fellow, Sprig.
I have to agree with Vashad here. You are kind of odd.
I would like to just disappear into the crowd underneath the tables, and I want to try and steal from Martin.
I
Cool.
paid for your meal.
Cool. Yeah, make an inconspicuous check. I mean, stealth or whatever they call it.
14.
14? Yeah. Ooh. All right. Well,
Got him.
so you make your way through the crowd. You're small enough that most of the patrons here don't even realize as you wade through and between their legs. Soon you find yourself under the stool of this man. He reaches back as he's reading, mumbling to himself, and he scratches his back with his thumb. When he moves his cloak out of the way, he reveals his coin purse to you. Your hand stretches ever up, but right before you get there, he turns and he grabs it. And he turns around and he says, "Now, little kids, you shouldn't be up this late. What's your name, son?"
Well, golly, mister. My name is Gregory, and I'm just trying to feed my mommy.
Well, is your mommy hungry?
Hungry to see me back home alive?
Yes. That's certain. Can you make a deception check?
Oh boy. 12.
Certain indeed. He looks around and he says, "You were trying to steal from me, weren't you?"
No. No. Why would you say that?
He tucks his coin purse into his pocket. He turns around and he slams the book closed. And it's loud enough that the bard hits the wrong chord. And he's like, "Ugh!" And then the old maiden went to, and starts to continues to go. And he's like, "So, are you here with an adventuring party, boy? You don't look like you're from around here."
I was born. I spent my whole life. Reginald, attack! And I'm just gonna have Reginald just launch himself at the guy to distract him, and I'd like to make an acrobatics check to escape.
Okay.
16?
Yeah, that's probably good enough. So he puts his hands up as this mouse flies off your shoulder, and he's like, "Ah!" And he bats it away. Reginald doesn't get hurt. Reginald scurries down the bar. And we hear, in turn, patrons sitting at the bar like, "Ah! Ah! Ah! Ah!" One guy at the end, an old drunk dwarf, falls off the stool and lands hard on his back, beard frothing.
I'm just gonna scoop him up, and I'm gonna use my movement, and I'm just gonna bolt back to the table and then slide underneath Vashard's chair.
Vashard, where do you think that gnome went?
So what does
Stay right
Vashard
here.
and what do Vashard do? Vashard and Dr. Henry do as these patrons start shrieking at the bar.
I pick up my mug, lest it be spilled.
I'm gonna get up and try to see what the commotion is all about.
Okay. I think about that time you would see this man sliding off his stool. He's got a heavy book under one arm, and he's holding his mug of ale in the same hand. and he's like leaning on his stick, walking towards you, and you see that he sees you, and then he just makes a beeline for you, like very 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 quickly.
We made eye contact, so we're like, it's an invitation.
Right.
That's what you get looking at people.
And of course, there's an empty chair because Sprig's under mine.
Right. He comes and he sits the book down on the table, and it lands with a thud. And about that time, the serving boy comes out, holding plates in his arms, nearly juggling them, trying to make his way around the crowd. And he says, "You look like adventurers, and I'm in need of adventurers."
Well, hello to you too, sir.
I'm sorry, my manners aren't what they used to be. Yes, may I have a seat?
By all means, yes. Apparently.
Somebody was using it, but they're gone now.
So he sits down, and the plates of food are set in front of you, and looking around, he doesn't see a third person and assumes this third plate must be for him, and he says, "Oh, thank you." And he picks up a piece of lamb and bites into it.
You should probably eat the carrots first.
Can I just try to sleight of hand the plate?
Yeah, sure.
Underneath the table, while he's eating, just
right.
25.
The entire
He looks down and says, "I must have been hungrier than I thought." Well, anyway, like I was saying, I am in need of adventurers. If you're looking for work.
Well, I'm always on the lookout for excuses to leave the city.
He reaches his hand across the table and wants to shake each of yours. His hands are rough. His fingernails are unkempt. You can see dirt under them. He probably would have... Huh?
I was going to say, remove my glove and shake his hand.
It's rough, like he's done hard labor in his days. And he says, "My name is Martin Ulan. I was an adventurer once, until, well, too many hard knocks in the head. I'm an archaeologist now. It's strange, but the colleges are teaching all sorts of things these days."
I'm Vashar Deli. I patrol the wilds around the King's Forest and Suzail, keep an eye out for bandits and some such.
Dr. Henry Purr, pleasure to meet you, sir. I can't actually say I'm looking for work, but I'm a bit short on coin, so guess you can't say I am in the mood for something that would be profitable.
Well, and he leans forward. He's like, "I've got the profits for you." He says, have you ever heard the story of how the Purple Dragon Knights gained their name?
Have we? I mean, I think Simon remembers part of it, but I don't know if Vashart would know.
Make a history check.
0 for me.
0?
I have an 8 in intelligence. I can't even read.
With an 11, you would remember that, like, there was a dragon involved.
Yeah,
and,
did
like,
they...
some fights with some knights.
Yeah, they killed a purple dragon.
Yeah, that's probably what he would know. But fortunately, Martin's not going to let that look on your face sit there for that long. He says, "Well, let me tell you something. There was once a dragon by the name of Thrauglor, a black dragon as ancient as the mountains in the east. It had descended upon, well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but Anyway, stories are fun. It descended upon Suzail and destroyed a quarter of the palace. And the king declared a mighty fighting army and went to that king's forest there. They found the dragon and they killed it. It was so ancient that its black scales had begun to fade and turn purple. Hence the knights that defeated it crowned themselves or declared themselves the Purple Dragon Knights. Anyway, this is where the story becomes more interesting. I have found in my research, and he excitedly opens the book. Half of it hangs off the table. As pages flip off, he stops it and brings back the pages some. He says, I'm looking for an artifact related to Thalglor. Perhaps I could hire you to get it for me?
All right. What kind of an artifact?
I'm researching something that I have decided to call the Dragon Stones. It seems that within the heart of a dragon, there's a stone, a crystal of sorts that gives it its power. Many things could be done good for this world with the power contained in these stones, and through my research I have found one stone lies here in Suzail, and 75 gold pieces in your pockets if you return it to me.
At this point, a little gnome head pops up, chin just coming up over the table. It's like, is that 75 each?
Oh, well, you were an adventurer, you tricksy little... Never mind. Well, if there's 3 of you then, and he crosses his arms, he's like, 25 each.
Well, 25 gold to go fetch the heart of a dead dragon?
Yes. It shouldn't be any problem except staying out of the watch of the city guard.
What? You want us to go do it right now?
Well, it's nighttime. It's raining. There would be good cover.
Wait, you don't want us to retrieve it. You want us to steal it.
Well, and he kind of buries his face into his mug, and he's like, "Oh, that's one thing you could say."
Who owns this heart?
Well,
I do have one thing I'd like to bring up. It's a black dragon heart, correct?
well, petrified, yes.
Aren't black dragons evil?
Yes.
Is the research you're doing evil?
No, not at all. You did say you were a doctor, correct?
Yes.
The power contained in these hearts are the power that fuels a dragon's breath. The power that gives flight to wings that would be much too small to lift a dragon to such great heights. This power could be channeled, used for many of things, to give life to those who are sick, to give sight to those who are blind, to teach those to read languages that have been dead for thousands of years.
You plan to share this information?
Well, yes, I'm looking for a few stones in the area, and I was planning on bringing them to the colleges here and showing my research, and unfortunately, in my days of being an adventurer, I never made a name for myself. Perhaps through research and knowledge. Yes, knowledge. I can make a name for myself.
Insight check.
Again, pretty sure you say it out loud as you just leer into insight.
With a 17, you're like 95% sure that he's telling the truth. You can tell like he's probably doing this for selfish reasons, but making a name for himself probably being the biggest of those reasons. He doesn't seem to have any like hidden nefarious plans.
Gotcha. Well, if I may, since you're all about helping the people and bringing light and goodness everywhere, maybe you can increase the pay to 30 gold each, and help out some poor souls.
Persuasion check.
Oh, I'm okay.
Is anybody hoping?
I'm not.
It's a 13.
Well, listen
Little
there,
gnome
Mr.
can't squeeze blood out of a turnip.
Well, Mr. Ulan, Veshard might help asking, this stone that you were talking about.
Yes.
Who's in possession of it now?
Well, that's the lucky thing. Timora's blessings. No one is in possession of it. Well, see, there were events that happened in Cormyr maybe 100 years ago. The king, they tried to assassinate him. There was a family that called... what's the name of it again? And he like looks through his book. He's like, yes, Cormoril. House Cormoril was indicted as being implicit, attempting to kill the king. They were banished from these lands and stripped of their titles and their houses. Luckily, for them at least, a few years ago, their titles were returned, but not their houses. The Cormoril estate has sat empty for around 100 years now, and I believe the man who was buried with it should still be there in his tomb. It's as easy as going into an empty house, finding the crypt beneath it, and returning the heart.
But we would be crossing a powerful noble house, like my little gnomish friend here said. Maybe for 30 gold pieces each. I could be persuaded to go.
Well, can you make a persuasion check?
Yeah, I can definitely botch up a persuasion check. Oh no, wait, I'm proficient with it. Hey, 18.
Cool, he says. 30. You'll need to supply yourselves. That sounds very fair. 90 gold pieces it shall be. Plus, and he reaches into his satchel and he says, I've procured each of you licenses to adventure within Cormyr. They're good for the year. You can use them afterwards as well.
Oh, great. Mine was expired.
Oh boy, paperwork. And Spring just kind of reaches out and grabs one, sniffs it, chews on the edge a little bit, and then stuffs it in their bag.
So, time out right quick. How do you guys as players want secrets to be revealed as players, or do you mind? Some players want every secret to be a secret, or is it cool if I just say, like, out of character, you would recognize the name of House Cormoril?
Oh,
Yeah, I think we can all be, and I like the burning wheel aspect of we all know that we're going into danger and we still have to do it because we can't meta.
Right.
So, and it's cool for the audience to know as well, so why not?
All right, so Simon, do you recognize the name of House Cormoril?
I recognize the name House Cormoril, for it is my house.
Right. Okay, cool.
Which is why I don't mind going into the estate and picking up what is rightfully mine anyway. But if we get caught, that is not going to bring honor back to the family. So
he leans forward and he says, so You leave now, right? Right? And you can see there's like a glimmer in his eye.
Well, the meal's over anyway. Might as well.
That sounds good.
Now, there was a man, Salimber Cormeril. He was a friend of the then prince. It would be his tomb that would have the dragon stone.
All right.
All right. Just an abandoned house. It's totally fine. Sprig's gonna really quickly just grab all of the leftover bones and stuff them into their bag.
How far away is this house?
Well, luckily, I've got a city map here. We're here in the Myrmidon, and the house, abandoned as it's ever said, is here in the noble district of town, right behind the palace.
Within view of the palace, of course.
Right.
But the trees over in the park will provide us for additional cover as we make our way to the house.
Certainly.
Well, I'm not one to try to flaunt the law for no reason, but I don't see the wrong in going into an abandoned house and taking a stone. If it's for science.
What science?
I meant if it's for your research.
Well, thank you. I'm going to procure myself a room. I have much research still to do. But when you have the stone, return here to me. I'll pay you gladly.
Well,
So
the
we're really
talking's
doing.
done. Suppose we should let out.
So we're really doing this?
Yes.
I thought you'd be enthused at the prospect of getting your hands on some additional funds.
I mean, I like the idea of 30 gold. I don't know how much I like the idea of tombs.
It's a family estate. The tombs in there are probably just small mausoleum.
Yeah, but like, zombies live in mausoleums. It's skeletons. Everybody knows that. You don't go into a graveyard because that's where, like, necromancers live and stuff.
Hey, Sprig. Take inspiration.
Well, from the sounds of it, we're not going to a graveyard.
No, we're not. Sprig, if you don't want to come, don't. But you're going to be throwing away 30 gold pieces.
At that, Reginald, like, pops up onto Sprig's shoulder and just kind of starts animatedly berating them, like, with, like, just shaking a fist and squeaking. And Sprig just squeaks back, like, the mouse equivalent of, like, I know. Squeak. Okay, I'll do it.
Cool.
Then out we go.
Awesome. So, make your way there through the night, through the rain. You'll have to make your way most likely through the most shadowy parts of town, around those convenient oil lamp posts that are done. The King's Guard patrol the streets for safety's sake, in order to make sure there's no nefarious business going down. So what we're going to do is a little skill challenge.
Right.
I know, right? So
Yay!
you all will need 5 successes before 3 failures in order to make your way throughout town. in order to get to the estate. The Cormoril estate. If I were to suggest a good skill to use, stealth would probably be a good skill to use. You all can help each other on your skills, but I would like if each person used a different skill. And you're welcome to come up with, kind of narrate how your character is like taking charge during like that part of the scene, and we'll kind of just like montage your sneaky, escapey, fighty way to the Cormoril estate. Does anybody have an idea?
I can start, and I would like to use perception to help point out where the guards are and keep an eye out on their patrol routes.
Yeah,
so
cool.
that we keep out of sight of them and help whoever's gonna probably sprig roll for stealth.
I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I do have a good score.
But you probably don't have disadvantage.
Oh, do you have disadvantage?
Yeah, I'm trained, but I have disadvantage.
Oof.
Cool, yeah, a perception sounds great.
So how about a 19?
19 gives you a check in the right direction.
Okay, so I imagine that like we haven't really properly set off at this point.
Right.
And so it's just Vashard kind of watching patrols along the main road, and Sprig goes, "Okay, all right, I know how we can get there. I've been to the Noble District before. You just gotta stay close to me, and just don't be afraid to get a little bit dirty." And then, yes.
As an urchin, you have a special ability where you can move like twice as fast through the city, right?
Yeah, it's called City Secrets.
Because you have City Secrets, I'm going to give you advantage on all of your rolls for this skill challenge.
Oh, sweet.
Because like you said, like, you know the back alleys and stuff.
Yeah, and when Sprig says this, like, they immediately, like, duck through, like, what looks like basically a slightly larger than normal grate in a wall, to let water flow through. And I will do stealth, leading them through like kind of almost too small spaces for them. Not even considering that, like, oh yeah, big people need to big.
Yeah, cool. Everything seems fine, and you make your way like halfway there. You notice that the kind of merchant district is starting to get a little more fancier. You notice like guild houses and guild halls in this new section of town that you've made your way to.
I want to use my survival skill with a cantrip, and I want to create a distraction, like as we're maybe like moving across like a well-lit street, and I want to use like produce flame to like set something minor like under like cover somewhere just on fire, just like, all right, now we move.
Cool. What skill do you think that is?
I wanted to say survival, as far as like locating or like pointing something out that would like catch on fire. But I could do like perception to look for something, or
Yeah, that's cool. Either
or I could just roll the attack on produce flame and see if it hits something, or if it just like fizzles out in the rain.
Any of those work, whichever one.
Okay. I'll just roll the attack here.
Cool. Awesome.
Right.
So yeah, we see a picture of Dr. Henry like producing flame and a barrel across the way, just blowing fire. And about that time, these guards turn and give your typical video game response. Hey, what was that? And they probably like run across the road, and we see you like Scooby-Doo scuttle across the road.
That was my favorite bakery. I hope it doesn't burn down.
We're in heavy rain. It'll be all right.
Speaking of heavy rain, the guards are probably not going to enjoy staying out under the rain all that much.
Right.
Using survival, I could probably identify the places where you could keep dry under this rain, and we can just avoid them. We'll be soaking wet, but at least we'll avoid all the places that the guards are most likely to hang out in.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
13.
So yeah, I think at that you all walk around a corner and there's two guards standing there, and they spot you, and they produce their lanterns in the darkness. You can see the splashes of water splashing off the outside, lit by the light, like little sparkles, and one calls out and says, "Who goes there?"
At that, I'm going to use my minor illusion cantrip to try and make the sound of like a somebody, like, I don't know, like banging pots right behind them to buy us like a fast second to like duck back.
Cool. Yeah. I think that sounds like performance.
You create a sound or image of an object within the range 30 feet that lasts for the duration, which would be a minute.
They have to succeed on successful intelligence against your spell save.
which is 9. So they need to make an intelligence saving throw and beat a 9.
So we can do that, or you can roll performance.
Okay, well, I'll do performance. Oh no!
All right, here we go. Let's see what this is. All right, I rolled a nat 1. They turn around. There's like, what's going on here? I think the bakery's on fire. And yeah, they run off. You make your way in and see the fancier villas in town. The places with high estate walls, vines grow over them. Great manicured lawns can be seen through like wrought iron fences, and this part of town is very quiet and only has like one light that shines, kind of giving a gloomy cast of orange to most of the streets here. And you see one estate overgrown and downtrodden. Several pieces of the stone wall have fallen out of place and lay on the ground. And you assume that this must be the place. But right as you start there, you do notice that in the palace walls, there are guards that are patrolling back and forth, and you do notice that you're just inside this light here that hangs over the fancy part of town, and that moving through here might be a little more difficult than the rest of the places. How do you proceed?
How far away are they?
I don't know if I set this up or not. Let's see if I did. They are 9.5 feet away. No, that's probably. We'll just say that's. I don't know.
I mean, if they're up on walls too, that's a height thing too.
100 feet.
Sprig is pretty good at climbing, so is going to kind of lead everybody into a basically a line to basically tightrope walk their way just along the edges of buildings, maybe even like holding onto them and pulling themselves up off the ground to like climb along walls.
Mm-hmm.
They have to just keep out of line of sight. I'm trying to use my acrobatic skill here in a creative way.
Sounds cool.
Yay! 24.
Yes. All right. So that was 5 successes. So you passed the skill challenge. Awesome. So yeah, you make your way through the streets, time it just perfectly with the guard patrols, and you reach this ruined manor house. It's boards sunken in, and I would say dry rotted, but they're also like wet rotted. And you can see like the gardens in front of the house are like overgrown and untrimmed. They're still in like the same blocky form that they were, but it's just grown wildly and fell off. And I guess this would beg the question, do you go in through the front gate or try and climb over the wall? Or
Is the gate unlocked?
you can check it.
I'd like to check the gate.
Cool. Make a investigation. You can't tell. It's old and rusty, and it's just a little too dark and wet out here. And looking in, it might be locked, but you're not quite sure.
Are you gonna open the gate?
Well, it might be kind of loud to open up the gate.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. You guys kind of big. I don't know if you can get over wall.
All right, I walk up and I just pull on the gate, see what happens.
It goes like as yes, it's locked.
That answer your question?
Okay, well, I can take care of that. It's fine. And Spur's gonna just like scuttle up and unwraps some of the bandages on one finger and pulls out a lockpick and like another tool from another finger and then rewraps the bandages.
Cool.
And then is gonna use their thieves' tools to try and open the gate. 20. I'm on fire tonight.
Yeah, you just stick it in, and the gate just like opens.
I don't think it was actually locked. Sorry.
I want to know how is this a gnome gate or did he have a step stool? How'd you get up there?
All right, so let's see if
He was just at arm's length trying to
on the tippy toes.
Huh. Oh, no, I just heard this loud bang. Sorry. All right, let's see if this works. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you stand right in front of the villa gate. You can tell there's a cobblestone walkway that makes its way forward. And however, it should be... Is everybody set up with like... It should be dark. Does it look dark?
It's very dark.
Yeah, it's dark for everyone except for the overlay. So that's good. It's exactly what we need.
Cool. Sorry, give me just a moment.
Huh?
My Roll20 doesn't want to work. Why isn't that working?
While we're doing that, I have a question
Yeah.
for chat. Or for any of the players, if you are also in Twitch watching the show, do you hear background music?
My stuff is muted, so.
No, that's okay. It wouldn't be from Roll20, it would be from Twitch. So I'd just like to know if the people in chat can hear it. Because otherwise I've been playing music for myself alone.
It works. it's like It's like
Spooky
a
music.
yeah, it's spooky. It's like spooky ambience, right?
Cool. Yeah. That
Just-
is awesome.
It's not allowing me to see the tokens the way that you guys see the tokens.
What do you mean?
Usually you could hit Control L to like see line of sight and stuff.
Oh,
But it's not letting me do that. Oh, I wonder if it is because...
Roll20 is a powerful tool, but very complicated.
yeah, right now I only see the shard on the map.
You don't see the other characters?
No.
And you don't... Do you see any of the map?
Nope.
I do, but I have dark vision at 60 feet.
Right. All right, so who's lighting a candle or a torch?
Oh, wait, I'm a half elf. I have dark vision.
Oh, yeah, you are. I'm sorry, I forgot that. So let's do it like this then.
Why are you leaving me in the dark? Oh, I see stuff. I
So,
see
Dr.
dim
Henry.
stuff.
I shall light a torch.
As you pull out a torch, Sprig goes, can you not see? It's clear out.
It's okay, Doctor. You can hang out in the back if you want.
All right, here. And Sprig's gonna pull out a hooded lantern and hand it to you, and go like, just keep the flaps down, otherwise they'll spot us. Light stands out in the dark like a rich person in a poor part of town.
You could have also said just light stand out in the dark, like light in the dark.
I guess we're on an adventure. I was trying to be poetic.
It's okay. I'm glad you see it as an adventure.
Is it? Well, I mean, we were hired by an adventurer to go into a zombie-infested mausoleum and steal a dragon heart.
There won't be any
Nobody-
zombies.
Nobody said zombies but you, little one.
Okay, but it's common knowledge that zombies live in mausoleums.
Common knowledge for who?
I mean, that's what I always heard growing up.
You have some strange childhood stories.
I don't think the Cormoril were evil enough to have dabbled in necromancy.
Well, I mean, says you, but you don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they found a necromancer and they invited him in one day out of the rain, and he was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I was so zombies," and then they were zombies, and then they had to live in the mausoleum, which is why nobody's seen or heard from them since.
So how loud are you all having this conversation currently?
Probably at
luckily-
this audible level.
Yeah, I was going to say, luckily it is like quite like rainy outside, so most of this is being drowned out. I hate that I can't view it as you all are viewing it for some reason. I wonder if it has to do with the other Simon.
It might, because the other Simon has supreme vision.
Yeah.
But if it helps, at dark vision, this is the farthest I can see.
Okay,
Is the edge of that fountain.
Yeah.
cool. Well, as long as it's working for you all,
It's working.
cool. So you do see the dead grass, the cobblestone streets, the muddy interior, and everybody make a perception check for me if you would.
That's a natural one.
Sprig knows it's raining.
That's a
And that
17.
there's definitely zombies in there.
So yeah, Vashard and Dr. Henry can almost make out what might be muddy footprints heading from the street into the courtyard, this courtyard area. But they kind of disappear before long. Also, what's the light on a hooded lantern?
The
I think
30-foot
it's
bright
30.
light in a 30-foot radius, but you can dim it to reduce it to a 5-foot radius by lowering the hood.
All right. Does it say what the dim light is?
No.
Normally
30.
it's the same. Yeah, it's 30.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it does. And dim light for an additional 30 feet.
Yeah.
Can Dr. Henry see now?
I can see.
Cool. We're just going to assume that's what you can see, but it's dim enough that they can't see you.
Okay.
So, what do you do?
Looks like we may not be the only ones here.
Don't you, zombies.
I doubt zombies walked in from the street.
I mean, maybe they're zombies with manners. I'm not going to be the first one to go into Zombie Town.
Well, technically we're not supposed to be here, and they're not supposed to be here either. So, I'll take point. I'll go in, and I'll keep my hand on the guard of my sword, on my hilt. And can you walk? Oh, I can walk. I'm a grown-ass person. I'm gonna walk all the way up to here.
Cool, yeah. So walking up to here, you can see on this side, there's like an old like stone walkway that's covered now in like overgrown brush and bush and grass that's grown up through the cobblestones. There's an old fountain here, rusted and dilapidated. It fills up though and pools of water as the rain continues to go down. You can see that the cobblestone way continues north, and that there's also access to the east, and to the west it ends in some fruity bush.
Fruits. But we just ate. Do we see any light coming out from the house?
No, the house is like completely dark, just as dark can be.
Okay.
Hey.
So then, yeah.
Do you guys think that fruit is edible? You're both from the forest, right? You know about fruit?
Yeah, I assume it's some kind of fruit, but do we really have the time to investigate it right now?
You know, maybe it's magic anti-zombie fruit.
I don't.
Little one, if you want some fruit, you can go pick it and eat it.
The GM rolled something and I'm scared.
I know, right?
I'm gonna walk all the way to the fountain.
Cool.
I'll follow in step behind him.
Can everybody make a perception check for me again? Cool.
1.
Cool. And cool.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
Henry.
Over here and over here and these bushes, you can hear something like rustling around, like the breaking of like sticks, like the ruffling of like branches together. And you can almost hear like what, well, maybe it's just the rain.
I'm going to set Reginald down and whisper to him to go check it out and report back.
When Reginald dies, I'm gonna be so sad.
I'm going to be so sad too.
Bandit just walks out with a rapier with Reginald in the end.
Oh no. Work, darn you.
I can see Reginald.
I'm trying to make Reginald small.
Oh, you won't unless you hold down Alt.
Awesome.
Oh my god, it's so tiny and cute.
It's a very tiny token.
I love it. Go, Reginald.
So yeah, Reginald's going to go check that out. Are you planning for up here or over here?
Over here.
Cool.
It's the closest.
If I heard up there, can I stealth around the fountain by the left-hand side?
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to say that the rain gives like extra cover, so your disadvantage would be canceled because the noise of the heavy rain hitting around.
Okay. That would still be just a 10, but 1, 2,
Cool.
3, 4, 5, 6. I'm basically walking this way.
Okay.
Using
I'm
the
going
fountain for cover.
I'm just gonna walk casually since I'm holding the hooded lantern. I can't really hide. They're like, oh, there's a light there. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm gonna walk, but I'm going to stop behind the fountain And just kind of like hang out there and wait for like everyone to report back.
Yeah. So about that time, I think Reginald scurries back up to Sprig. And so you can talk to animals, right?
Yeah.
So
Smaller beasts.
right. So yeah, Reginald tells you like over there, 3 men, 2 flesh, 1 stone.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Reginald. And Sprig's just gonna kind of like bebop over here and then whisper to the doctor. Reginald says there's a stone man and 2 flesh men over there, and points in the direction where he went.
Your mouse told you this.
Yeah,
Says the druid.
I can talk to animals, small ones. The cat once was very mean.
That's very peculiar. The stone man, was he moving?
Was he moving?
No.
Nope.
That's probably just a statue.
But did these men, did they... Well, what'd they look like?
Like you?
Like you.
I'll draw my bow,
Same.
and I'm gonna call out as loud as I can.
Uh-oh.
City Watch, you are trespassing on the Cormeril estate. Show yourself, ruffians.
Make
Trying
a
to
performance check.
I'm trying to scare them into scampering away.
Or okay,
Natural
that works.
20.
You hear them call back, and deep voices bellow from without, and they said, "We're gardeners. We're supposed to be here."
No, it's just gardeners.
You have 4 seconds to leave this property or we will use deadly force.
They're just gardeners.
They're not gardeners.
Oh.
It's raining outside.
can't-
Alright.
We're here on official business. You should leave. It's very official, and we'll tell you about it tomorrow.
Did one of them, like, pop up from behind the hedge?
Yeah, probably. But you can only like see him from like here up because the hedge is like so overgrown.
Oh, it's okay, but at least I see something compared
Yes,
to
yes.
earlier where... So I can shoot through the hedge knowing that person is there, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. You shoot them?
Yep.
All right, let's roll for initiative.
I was going to tell you to have them come out and show us their gardening tools.
I'm afraid that whoever is going to have the jump on the other party is going to have a major advantage. And also, they're trespassing on my property. So...
That's true.
Initiative. Token. Roll 19.
Okay, I actually already rolled initiative, so I'm going to adjust that. I just need to get the thing. It's a shame. It's got a 9.
Cool. So I do guess that Vashard gets to go first.
Is that first person surprised when I fire at them?
Yeah, they're probably surprised
As in,
because
can I
right as they
bet for
pop up,
advantage?
you had already said that you had like knocked an arrow. So yeah, you can have surprise, but they're behind like 3/4 cover. So
Okay.
man, what does 3/4 mean? Work?
It's plus
five
5 to
plus- Yeah, plus 5 to armor class.
Okay.
Sorry.
But that would be a
No, it's okay.
23.
Wow. So yes, you hit.
For a total of 5 piercing damage.
You hear the arrow disappears into the shrubbery, and you hear a oof. And that makes it whoever these people are.
Gardeners.
Yeah, so that one that this one just rushes you. He's got a like an arrow sticking out of like this leather breastplate, and you all hear them yell like, "They're interlopers! Get them!" Oh, poop.
Having a strange feeling that they're not gardeners, guys.
They're
as much
definitely
Gardner as we're City Watch.
Cool. So this one gets up and attacks Sprig,
Oh no, not me!
and that was a 22
Oh god, that's my.
for 6 damage.
Oh no! This is a bad start, guys. This is a bad-
No.
I'm coming back as Reginald.
That makes it Sprig's turn.
Uh,
So they all rush forward. Well, 3 of them rush out, 2 from the northern shrubs and 1 from the southern shrub, and they all like they're all wearing like studded like just black colored studded leather, and they all have their hair tied up. And they draw scimitars and just rush you. And one gets close to Sprig and just stabs him right there. And it's like, we won't let the interlopers escape. Not this time.
okay.
What other time have the interlopers escaped?
It's like the 5th time they try to case the joint, and every time they get surprised by someone.
That'd be hilarious.
Okay.
I don't play as one of these bandits. They sound way cooler.
Well,
Reginald.
if we all die, we can play the bandits.
Reginald, distraction! And then I'm going to use my action to disengage.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my movement to just book it the hell out. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my turn.
Awesome. Doctor?
All right. I'll watch the little gnome run away, and I'll look at him and just kind of like shake my head and be like, "Well, where scientific medicine fails, druidic comes into play." And I'll point at him and use healing word on him,
Cool.
heal him a little bit, and then I'll in the hand that's not carrying the torch, I'll produce a flame and I'll throw it at the one that took an arrow to his knee.
This one.
Sorry, breastplate. Sorry. Too early for that. I'm sorry.
I thought about using that one earlier. That hits.
All right, for 3 damage.
Ah, cool.
And then I'm also gonna back up a little bit.
So yeah, this flame whips from your hand and hits him in the chest and like sizzles and like boils the water that's on its breastplate.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not down yet.
No, though he's looking pretty haggard.
Don't worry, Vishard, you'll be okay.
Yeah,
That makes
sure.
it a short start.
Do I have clear shot to that person?
To this one,
Yeah.
I'd say they had cover behind the fountain.
All right, so I'm going to move here.
Yep.
That's like 20 feet, I think. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. Do I have a better shot?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to take the shot. And then if it kills him on an 18,
Yeah,
do I
that
hit?
hits.
All right,
Yeah, that
7 points
hits.
of damage.
And that drops that nerd.
Gardner.
Yeah, yes, Gardner.
Gardner. Look, it was just a really elaborate gardening LARP. All right, they
Yeah.
booked the residents out for the weekend, and they're
Right.
really passionate about their gardening LARP.
Right.
They
They
pretend to
didn't.
be gardeners.
You couldn't hear over the splatter of the rain. They didn't say gardeners. They said guard nerds.
Oh. and it's like their initiation in the guard, and they're just like they have to. It's like an elaborate LARP thing that they have to pretend. We're just here using deadly force.
We're just
Well-
gardener hobbyists.
Time to recycle ourselves into bread pirates, guys.
All right, is that the end of your turn, Bouchard?
Can I drop the bow and draw the sword after
Yes.
that? All right.
Yeah, that's great.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Bandits. This one attacks the little mouse standing beside him.
No, Reginald!
That'd be great.
I don't have control over the token, so I couldn't move him away.
No, it's cool.
Don't kill my mouse.
So yeah, this one moves up to Vishard and attacks him with the scimitar. With an 8, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
that's a miss.
And
Bouchard goes down.
this one attacks Vishard as well.
He did do the killing blow. It makes sense he has aggro.
It was a 6.
It was a phew, a
Yeah.
6 instead of the 22.
Yeah,
All right.
I
Yeah, 6 is a
accidentally hit it
miss.
twice.
It's okay.
Um,
I'd rather.
And then, let's see here. This one pops out from behind the brush with a crossbow.
Oh no.
And yeah, that's a clear shot to the druid, to Dr. Henry standing out in the open. He gets a 5. He's
Oh, thank God.
this is his first day. He's real nervous.
It's a brand new crossbow, guys. Give him.
Cuts himself on the
and then
crossbow
he pops
string.
back down behind the brush again.
He,
And
he
that makes
uses
it
the crossbow to like trim trees.
See, I told you I was a gardener. Sprig is like viewing this and goes, "Don't worry, Bash, I'm coming to help," and then runs away behind the stench to get cover. And then we'll use her short bow, their short bow, to attack this guy.
All right.
24 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Okay, because it's within 5 feet of an ally, it's
Sneak attack.
11 points of damage.
And that drops that guard nerd.
Thank you, Sprig.
Ah!
All right, Doc.
I think I'll move back to the fountain, take a little cover, and I'll throw another flame at the guy below Vishard.
All right.
But I'll throw it on Vishard and like burn his eyes out.
Yeah, that's a miss. But thankfully, so yeah, fire just like leaps out of your hand and just like hits the bushes behind Vishard and just splashes in a fiery, watery mist.
As like the flames traveling the rain just puts it out. And it just
Vishard's turn.
Looks like it's going to be sword to the face for that other gardener.
guard nerd.
Gardener. 23. I'm
That's
also on
definitely a
fire
hit.
tonight. For 5 points of damage.
Awesome. Yeah, your blow lands heartily with a oof from the guard nerd, and it
Take that, nerd.
he shows his teeth and jumps back at you with a scimitar strike, getting 11.
Which I parry deftly.
Awesome. Sprig's turn.
Oh, this is a lot. Okay. And then I'm just gonna pop back out and try and shoot this guy with the short bow.
All right.
Does a 14 hit?
I think so. Come on, roll 20. Yes, it hits.
Okay, and sneak attack. So 8 points of damage.
And that one drops.
Just like literally, you can barely even see that Sprig just like kind of pokes their head around, and then you just see like a little arrow poke through the bush, and then right behind.
Right in the throat, and it just like drops. He just drops in a puddle.
Did I hit him?
That makes it the Dr. Henry's turn.
So do I get I can barely see him on the edge of the vision here. Is that disadvantage on the
Yes.
spell attack?
Yeah. Plus, he's behind that hedge that's at least 5 feet tall. So.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Wow.
I did my best, guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
you should do your
you're-
best more often.
Double crits.
Yeah. Just keep doing your best.
Yeah. So all you hear, you burn a hole in the hedge, like the size of a large grapefruit, and you see through it this like smoldering chest of a bandit man behind it. That makes it Bashard's turn.
All right, I'm going to move. What's the Q? Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm gonna move here. But I don't have any thrown weapon. I still have my longsword. I dropped the bow, so.
Throw the longsword.
What? No.
Just loses it in the darkness.
It lands here.
Let me do that again. 15, 20, 25. Yep, 30. So I'll use the dash action to get all the way up to there and crouch behind the hedge.
Awesome. So for its turn, he comes out still smoldering and like bleeding from the mouth, and he takes a light crossbow and shoots at Vishard, getting it 7. This guy's having a terrible first day.
It's yep.
And then he turns and starts running off to the east.
Oh, you.
And he's shouting. He's just like, "Boss! Boss! They're here!"
I think I can reach him and my.
That makes it Sprig's turn.
Okay, let's see if I can even see this guy. Sprig kind of pokes their head around and like, oh, everybody's gone. Okay. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't see. And kind of looks around and says, I don't see anybody, you guys. Hi, doctor. And then I'll use my dash action. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's Sprig's turn.
Okay. That makes it the doctor's turn.
I doubt I'll be able to even see him if I move 30 feet. 5, 10, 15. Oh, I totally can. All right, let's try this again. So I conjure another flame in my hand.
Try real hard.
18.
Yeah, that hits. And smoldering into his back, that fire hits, and he drops and just lands like face first in a puddle and slides 5 feet. And everything is quiet once again.
He says
What do you do?
he was calling out to a boss.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
Lightning strikes. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Lightning strikes me. Just
No. Lightning strikes, and you can see in this direction, in the east, there's this large hill that has like these like strange circle stones that are laid out in the exact pattern of the fountain behind you.
mayhaps we should get inside and get this over with.
Yeah, or we make sure that we don't get attacked.
Sprig is rooting around in this guy's pockets to see if he has any money.
Mind
Roll a
you,
d6.
Roll what?
A d6.
See how many snakes come out of his pockets.
it's raining a lot. I think you're right, Doctor.
Didn't have anything in his pockets.
Yeah, these guys don't have anything worth taking anyway, so.
We go in.
Reginald!
Reginald catches up with you. So from where you're standing here, you notice that the house is to the north. like looming over you, big silhouette across the lightning streaked sky. But to the east is that hill, and as lightning strikes again, you can see the small like square shape of what
Tombstones.
may be a mausoleum.
Yeah, I was gonna say the stone is in the mausoleum, not the house. Alright, make our way to the east and maybe we can see what else is in the house. And I think I'll take like one long look at the estate, sigh, and then make my way. Pick up the bow and then make my way east.
Yeah, and I think that's what we see is Vishard looking up at the house as it's silhouetted again, and like spider webbed lightning that stretches through the sky. And would that be an appropriate place to take a break?
It would.
It's 8:47.
Yep.
Cool.
No
As it
problem.
flashes, there's two little girls in the windows, like,
Right.
Hey guys, look, friends!
We are not stepping foot inside this estate then. Alright, we are going to be right back, everyone.
Awesome.
And we're back. Oh, no, wait, Manny is probably going to come back. Well then.
I like the probably.
Don't worry, I'll roleplay as him. Guys, I'm so scared. Reginald, what should I do? You should go forward. Got
And
it.
you can't. I'm muted, and the box was on, so you guys didn't hear anything I was saying. I forgot to take the box off. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I've been having a one-sided conversation for the last 5 minutes.
Oh no. So yeah, I think we see our brave adventurers again walking eastward through the courtyard area. Rain is beginning to lighten up a little bit. You can finally hear the splashes of your feet again on the cobblestone road under you. And in front of you, to the east, is this hill with circle stones etched around it and what looks to be a mausoleum set atop. You make your way there.
Mm-hmm.
Is this map correct? Like north, southwest?
Yes.
Okay.
All of my maps will always be that way. There's no reason to confuse me. It's this way.
I follow behind Bashar.
Yeah, you notice that in this area here are 4 square hedge, and each one is a statue of some sort. And there seems to be a statue for a wizard, a cleric, a fighter, and a rogue.
I'm just gonna take a quick second, and I'm gonna pop in here to take a closer look at the statue.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, yeah. Yeah, if you're just looking at it, roll perception.
Okay. Boop.
Cool, and roll a d6 for me.
Okay. 1.
You see, for some reason, at the bottom of the statue is like a leather coin purse.
Can I pick it up and look at it? Like,
You
open
can,
it up.
but when you pick it up, it doesn't jingle like coins. It rattles like you don't know what. And as you open it, it's full of human teeth.
Vash? Henry? Do zombies like to collect teeth?
Aren't they all about brains?
I don't know. They just eat people, right? Like, maybe they saved... And Berg comes back with the bag and open to show you guys the teeth. And goes, maybe they ate these as a snack? Why would someone have a bag of teeth? I don't like it. And even as they're saying, like, I don't like, they cinch it shut and stick it in their bag.
Well, maybe we can look at the statues on the way back. I'd like to get our hands on that stone as soon as possible.
There may be other people ahead of us too.
Yeah. The less we linger, the less chances of them getting a surprise on us.
I don't know, it seems kind of weird, and like a weird detail for somebody to just leave here. Like, maybe it portends something else.
Well, alright. You've convinced me. I'm gonna go check the other statue.
Yeah, roll perception. And if it's over a 10, roll a d6.
21.